people who are not black, right? And I feel like for people with special needs, there are terms that are right now, you're not allowed to say them, etc. Like saying autistic in a derogatory way, or like the R word, for example. A couple months ago, people started just substituting the words with other words. So for example, people will call you retarded, acoustic. And it's like, bro, you might as well just say what you're trying to say.
That's why you can't censor this stuff. They're just going to make another word up for it. You know what I mean? It's futile. And the more you try to stop something, the more you try to stop something, the more it's going to happen. Okay? And when you have a society like slavery, yeah, you have to step in, and you have to have the government, the army, you got to nip that in the bud and stop it, right? Because that's about laws, right? But racism, that's not something you can fix with laws of the military, okay? What you need to do to fix it is stop talking about it and stop trying to get the government to fix it. It will fix itself, okay? Society will always gravitate to fixing itself if the deep state, the government, and snowflakes like this guy, okay, if they would just leave it alone, just stop, and it will disappear. I mean, you're always going to have racism because you always have assholes, right? You can't get rid of it. That's what it kills me about most black people, too. They think that I'm like, well, racism is down to, it's pretty much equal for all the races now. It's barely there. No, we got to stamp it all out. So basically, that's a childlike behavior, right? Because you can't stamp out assholes or jerks. There's always going to be jerks, no matter what laws you pass or what you do in society. You're always going to have a subset of group of the society that are jerks. That means you always have racism. You can't stamp out the racism without getting rid of every jerk on the planet. That would what? Kill most of the planet?
Because what you're saying is still offensive. You're just trying to put like some blanket over it. And it just goes back to what I was saying earlier with Gen Z just masking their bigotry. And you're not slick, bro. You're just not slick. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Do it with your chest, alright? Say it with your chest, alright? Stop hiding behind it's a joke, bro. Go out and say what you really want to say. Now, for some examples, POV, your friend is acoustic. Are you restarted? Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Bro's a Fall Guy character. Alright. POV, you found a young black rapper inspired by autism in South Korea. How can you be... What? Punished by God 4 times. Okay, let's count the 4 times they're talking about. Okay, black, gay, disabled, that's 3. And then they're saying Jewish, 4? Is that what they're talking about? Yo, bro. And then the last thing I recently seen that I want...
Okay, that was funny as heck. Alright? And you watch, you'll call it all hate. How is that hate? What's funny is this kid, he believes that there's a lot of racism against black people, right? And probably against Jewish people and handicapped. He mentioned that he thinks that there's all this racism. So why is mentioning it hateful? You know what I mean? Like, what the heck?
Want to touch on before we get out of here?
I could see if the meme was like, this kid deserves what he gets. Look at him. He's black, he's gay, and he's got a wheelchair, and he's Jewish. Yeah, that's racist. That's hate. Why can't he understand the difference? That is hate. But if you just have a meme like that isn't hate. It's just funny. Like, what is wrong with you? This kid is such a snowflake. He's weak, is what it is. See, that's like they feminized all the men, and this man has a vagina that he walks around with, and he needs to take that vagina off, put it on the table, and walk away from the vagina.
Here is like homophobia / transphobia. Dwayne Wade and Magic Johnson arguing over whose son takes more D than the other. I understand laughing at this in the moment where you're like, oh my god, that's shocking. This is absolutely crazy. This is absolutely wild. But then when you think about it, you're just making fun of and bullying an innocent person. Like, they're
Is this kid serious? Wasn't that Magic Johnson a grown man who has billions of dollars?
Like homophobia /
this kid,
transphobia. Dwayne Wade and Magic Johnson arguing.
Okay, I don't know who Dwayne Wade is. He's probably another basketball player or whatever Magic Johnson is. And, poor little Magic Johnson. Oh, I'm going to cry. Is this kid going to actually cry on camera here? Oh, a celebrity who has $20 billion. Someone made fun of him. How privileged is this kid? How privileged is he?
over whose son takes more D than the other. I understand laughing at this in the moment where you're like, oh my god, that's shocking, this is absolutely crazy, this is absolutely wild. But then when you think about it, you're just making fun of and bullying an innocent person.
Bullying Magic Johnson. Let's call up Magic Johnson and ask him, does he feel bullied by a meme? Like, if he does, he's a little bitch. He needs to take his vagina off, put it on the table, and walk away from the vagina.
Like, they're probably going to see this post. Do you not feel a little bit fucked up for that, bro? So let's try to find out some of the reasons why this is taking place. The not-so-woke Generation Z, the same young people who derided as liberal snowflakes, are moving to the right. Being woke, its members have been called snowflakes.
See, this is something new because, you know, and he's going to say, I wonder why this is happening. Well, what do you think happens when you tell a whole country they can't do something, and now they can? They're going to start doing it, even if they don't want to do it. That's how that's how humans work, man. It's like if you tell a kid you can't do something, and all of a sudden you're like, like you can't swear. And then one day you're like, okay, you can swear today for an hour. Let me tell you, that's how he ain't even going to say nothing except swear words at that point. There ain't going to be no other word coming out of his mouth. Why can't this kid understand simple freaking psychology?
Donald Trump, presidential election, voting polls, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I found something on Reddit that says Gen Z is the most racist generation. This might be interesting. I'm Chinese, English isn't my first language. I live in the US. I face racism and slurs online and in person from culprits that are always under 21. There's a difference between trolls and racism. Obviously, racism is racism, and obviously trolls being racist is racism. But we surely agree that troll racism is not the same as blatant racism in your everyday life. Actual straight up racists literally do believe what they say. The point of the racism is that you are literally lesser as a human being because of innate traits. Interesting. I will say, okay, yeah, I do understand that some people are just trolling to get a reaction out of people, but there's no way to tell if they're actually just trolling or if they actually believe what they say, especially in like a little interaction of a comment section, in an Omegle chat, etc. Like, how can you really derive or make a difference between a troll racist and an actual racist in the span of a 15-second conversation? I would argue that if you're gonna say this to other people in their face, you kind of have to believe it to an extent to really even say something like that with a straight face. There's no amount of trolling I could do to a point where I would feel comfortable going up to an Indian person and just saying, oh, if I call you a slur because I genuinely believe myself to be superior, or if I call you a slur for a laugh, the effect on you is going to be similar either way. Interesting, good point. So basically what they're saying is it doesn't really matter the intentions of the original troll, it's more about the effects of the words that you say.
See, this is what I'm talking about. I don't care about you and your feelings when I'm talking to someone or talking and someone else is in the room. I don't have to care about you, okay? And he's saying that, well, to a person, they're not going to know if you're being racist or not being racist. Bullshit. Okay, you can tell when someone's being racist and someone isn't. Okay, not this kid, because he's indoctrinated thinking every goddamn thing is racism, right? But to a normal person, yeah, they could tell. If it's their friend and they come up and they say a racial joke, yeah, they know that it's not whatever because they're normal. See. And just because they hear something with the word race in it, they don't just jump to the conclusion that they're racist, okay? So they're normal. The only ones that are going to be offended, like you don't know how, he's saying you don't know how they're going to take it. They might think you're racist. They won't know if you're racist or not. Well, if they don't know, it's because they're a little snowflake, right? They're a little bitch, right? Like this little kid right here, right? This man right here. He's a little bitch, okay? Don't get me wrong. This kid... I actually think he's a great guy, man. I really do. As much crap as I'm talking on to this poor guy, you know what I mean? But he's been brainwashed. He's just so indoctrinated. It's so crazy because everything he says is like so batshit crazy. You know what I mean? Like anything is hate to this man. Everything is hate to this. Everything is racism. Maybe instead of trying to fix society and make them not racist, even though not being racist, right? Maybe we just make people not weak little bitches, okay? Like this man right here. See? Little bitch, okay? He gets offended by everything. He's not a man, okay? And I don't mean that because he's black. I'm saying it because he has a vagina, okay? I'm not calling him a boy. I'm calling him a woman, okay? So we understand. Because if I don't state that, I have white skin. So what's this kid going to do? He's going to say, oh, he has white skin. He obviously is being racist, calling me, saying I'm not a man, right? Right? But I'm not. But he would assume that, and why would he assume that? Solely based on my skin color, okay? And when you solely base something on someone's skin color, because they're saying about their morality because they have certain skin color, that's literally the definition of racism. So he's the racist, okay? But me, I'm just saying he has a vagina, okay? So has nothing to do with skin color. It has to do with he's not a man. He has a vagina. He's a woman, okay? He's feminized, okay? And I hate talking so much crap on this guy. This poor guy. I actually like this guy. I swear to God I do. But I don't like his brainwashed thinking. You know what I mean? Because he just perpetuates more racism. Because then people think that this guy's racist for doing something that he wasn't, whatever. Now you got to fight there. You're just causing fights in the world for no reason.
Say on the person you're talking to, which I 100% agree with. Regardless of if you're trolling or you're genuinely are a racist person, what you say feels the same way both ways. In my opinion, there are fewer racists, but racism is both more public due to the internet and more prominent because society is less accepting. There isn't as much casual racism because you get quickly slapped for it regardless. I think that's part of why people try to mask what they say with things like acoustic, because they know there's going to be some harsh repercussions.
No, they mask their words on the internet, you idiot, because we're all being censored because of snowflake people like this who think that dark humor should be censored. He didn't say it, but I know he thinks it. Dark humor should be censored, and we should just get rid of free speech and give it to the government to decide what's hateful and what ain't. Of course, they're going to deem everything hateful, just like this kid. This kid deems everything hateful. Everything's racist to him.
Of using said terminology.
I mean, making a joke about freaking India being a scuzzball country, that's a fact, idiot. Facts can't be racist unless you're woke, brainwashed,
Here's my thing, okay, I don't think that Gen Z is the worst and most racist generation. I think as time goes on, society has gotten more accepting, more woke. I just think that Gen Z is just not there yet. But no, they're not.
Yes, they are the most racist, you idiot. Well, I don't know if they're most, I wouldn't say they're most racist, but they're just as racist as the KKK. They have KKK ideology. They want to put everyone in boxes, right? Like me. Or even the right, or whatever, Trump. We all want to put everyone in one box. That's called inclusion, when you include everyone in one single box. And we call us the American race, because that's what we are. We're all the American race. Me, this crazy nutjob man here, me, everybody that's a citizen of the United States. And we have one flag, right? The United States flag. And you know why it's the United States flag is the only flag that represents inclusion? Because everyone's included, right? But this guy thinks everyone should have I'm surprised he doesn't have an LGBT flag up. Or, all they want to do is have different flags that don't represent all of us. But he thinks he's about inclusion. Right. Then what? Well, division is about dividing people up. What does his people do? And I don't mean black people. I mean the nutjob communist taking over the country, right? What do? They put everyone in a box, right? Yeah. They're like, ooh, black people and white people, don't want no nasty white people in my box, he probably thinks. And then all these white Democrats and woke people, ooh, I don't want no nasty, dirty black people in my box. Or, ooh, I don't want no dirty... See, this guy doesn't want gay people in his, or white people, or Asian people in his box. He only wants black people in his box. Just like because they want to divide us. They believe in division. They hate inclusion. They pretend that they like inclusion, but they won't let me in their box. I want him to come into my box, the American box that includes, get it, inclusion, includes everybody. But he don't want me to be in his box because he thinks I'm a nasty, dirty, disgusting white person. How dare a white person think that he should have the right to be in my box? When I look at him, I think, hey, you're an American. You belong in my box. We're the same. He looks at me and says, you're a dirty, white, disgusting person. I don't want you white people in my box. I want to divide us up I want division, not inclusion.